Thank you everyone, and thanks for the organising. So I've only got a few minutes, so I'll keep it really brief. I think hopefully what I'm going to say and what I'm going to say will coincide quite nicely. Many people in the room might already know that there's a National Day of Workplace Action taking place on the 7th of February. This is something which everybody in any workplace is being encouraged to take action for Palestine. It's originally been called by Stop the War, but is being supported by a whole number of groups. I work with a layer of student organisations, people like Palestine Youth Movement, London Student Action for Palestine, who have joined in this call out for hopefully students and staff to come together and try and make our campuses the kind of places that we all want to see, somewhere where we can actually speak openly about Palestine. I think it's important though to talk about, well, why February 7th? Why is it important that we all come out in support of this call? Well, firstly, of course, the 7th of February will mark 4 months of, as others have mentioned, some of the darkest days of Palestinian history, a genocide taking place right before our very eyes that nobody of my generation, and I think most people on this earth today, have ever seen in their lifetimes. But also it's particularly important we protest here in Britain today because of the complicity of not only our universities as institutions, whether it be funding, or the clampdown on academic freedom, but also the complicity of our British politicians, whether it be Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer. I don't see any difference in them really. I think, Hassan said, people can't claim ignorance. It's not ignorance that they support or deny that there's a genocide going on. Why is it? It's because they support Israeli apartheid. This is about propping up a system of Western imperialism within the region. I think we have a unique situation here in Britain, as was just mentioned with the Balfour Declaration. Apartheid was made here in Britain in 1917, and it has been supported by our British rulers ever since. And I think it's important that as students and staff we come out against it. And I think as well as it's also the unique situation that we have of the IHRA definition being used to not only silence students but academics as well. I just want to say as well that I think, as somebody whose family are Jewish and survived the Holocaust, it makes me incredibly angry that actually anti-Semitism is being weaponised in such a way to silence anti-racists, when there are real anti-Semites on the rise, people like Donald Trump, people like Tommy Robinson, who's protesting in Britain in Telford today. They're the people who actually want to see what happened to my family in the camps of Nazi Germany happen again, not the people who stand on the side of Palestinians. Kelly quoted Rosa Luxemburg. I think that's a brilliant person to quote. I'm proud to stand in a tradition of socialist Jews who have always been on the side of the oppressed, and there's never been a doubt in my mind that the side of the oppressed is the Palestinians. That's the right side of history in defending their right to exist. So that's why I'm going to be out on February 7th, just to finish. What are we actually doing? We're calling all students to walk out. If there's any students in the room, please speak to me afterwards. To walk out, to work with their staff, to have a protest, have an occupation, have a teach out with your UCU. But the February 7th is not just one single day. It's about trying to roll back the gains that have been made by the right and by Zionist organisations to clamp down on free speech. We want a culture in Britain where you can raise the Palestinian flag, where you can wear a keffiyeh, where you can have an anti-apartheid week on campus, and where you can pass a BDS motion in your student union. That's the kind of universities we want to do, but we have to be organised and we have to do it together nationally. So we want everyone to join us on the 7th of February, and please chat to me at the end.